We have to be careful about our shit because you've been doxxed. People can find where we're at.
That's scary to think about.
Yeah. I think this point has been made up before on the Delphi situation or any of these other murders. I think you made this point about it's dangerous. You out motherfuckers, people can show up at your house and knock on the door.
Well, that was a few years ago into the Delphi investigation when the JP thing came up, and then somebody got pissed at you and made a video that you could be bridge guy.
Yeah,
and we didn't want the FBI knocking at our door.
No, I think somebody had made the point about when you're in the true crime community. And you're dealing with murderers. I don't know.
It was sleuth intuition.
And that you're not safe. Nobody is safe. They're killing little girls under a bridge.
Yeah.
You know, as well as, I can't think of any other crime. Rex Hooverman's going around just killing females all over the goddamn
And he was trolling us on the internet.
I mean, there's all kind of shit going down. And when you start
I swear to God, I had a confrontation with him in a blog one time in a comment section.
Yeah, and I'm sure we rubbed elbows with a few people that have been, you know,
very sus.
Yeah, so you're not, nobody's really safe, so I don't want to out nobody's stuff.
I understand.
You know, I'll be careful.
Yeah, it was, I think it was sleuth intuition who got doxxed at one point, and it was like, you know, hey, like, maybe he wants to stay incognito because we're over here trying to catch killers.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Sleuth is a smart guy, so he knows. You know,
well, he's got a family.
You have to be careful. Yeah, if they're Garrett Kirk said it best. If they're going around killing little girls, what won't they do?
Well, I want to talk about some of the points. Remember that day? It was November the 30th. Okay, like we were sitting in my house, and you were on a long rant. This is when, you know, the bullet came out about the bullet, and they arrested Richard Allen.
Yeah.
And you had said
something about magic bullet, and I was like, the magic bullet, because it wasn't in the Ron Logan. It wasn't even in the Ron Logan search warrant.
But you came up with a very excellent defense in a Discord.
Yeah, because I was just like, you know, this magic bullet that's fucking, you got random fucking clothes thrown all about, you got this random, that's random, but then the magic bullet is staged. Well, some things are staged, they're deciding what's staged and what's not. So all of a sudden this magic bullet shows up out of nowhere.
And you also like to use, because I love you, and me and you have talked true crime for years. So as soon as I heard that, it made me think of some of your lingo, like magical fairies, and just the way you get animated about it.
I think I know what you're talking about. When there's times when I'm like, oh, the magical fairies that fly from phones to phones and make sure you get text messages.
I know.
Oh, yeah, every text message just goes through.
So when I heard magical bullet, I was just like, babe, are you in a, like, Discord? Like,
yeah,
but
and we talked about the Nansen stuff, and how everybody thinks he was convicted of murder, and he never was.
Well, here's my fear, honey. I have this fear that the defense team, somebody in that Discord is communicating with the defense. We already know that, you know, through these documents, somebody in Georgia gave them the odious theory or whatever, but I just have this feeling that some of the defense has come from you, and it's in this Discord, and one day a smart sleuther is going to go back and be like, reading these documents like I did, and be like, some of this stuff sounds really familiar, and then I don't want it to come back on me.
Maybe they're watching my YouTube channel. But what else did my other defenses has never gotten out, that's never made a big deal, was I made a big rant about, if you're a meth head, who would you have to know in Delphi to get pseudoephedrine to make your meth? You need a Smurf. Who's the biggest Smurf you could get?
The guy at the local CVS.
The pharmacy tech at the CVS. You know,
that was a solid point.
Whether or not he's involved or not, let's say you went to go get your pseudoephedrine, he's a Boy Scout motherfucker, and he's like, no, motherfucker, get the fuck out of my CVS, bitches. You know, and they're like, fuck you, motherfucker, look at you, and they frame him for murder. I'm just saying.
And that is not my theory. I think Richard Allen is the bridgiest bridge guy I've ever seen. I think he has some redhead fetish thing going on. I think he's scum. Fuck him. In my eyes, that's.
But there
he's your guy.
Okay, we know. I can tell you two facts about Delphi about group. Whether or not the Odinist or not, I don't know. Got KKKK. You got those motherfuckers. You got the 3K guys.
Yeah.
You know there's a group of them motherfuckers there. The other group you know is a group of meth heads. And Garrett Kurtz has proved that.
Yeah.
And I keep telling you over and over again, Garrett Kurtz said, they're going around killing little girls. Why am I going to tell you stuff? That what won't they do?
That's probably the truest statement Garrett's ever spoke.
Then we got the prostitute girl who talked about the group.
Let's not call her a prostitute girl.
Well, I know. I'm sorry. I don't know how. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend her.
She's a sex worker.
Yeah, I don't mean to offend her or an escort. You know, and there's nothing bad about any of that. I'm just saying that's. I thank you for correcting me. But we know she talked about the group.
Yeah.
We got Randy Hauser, Hausman or whatever.
Jalen. The judge and Jalen.
Judge and Jalen. Yeah, that's the girl's name. Yes, thank you for. But yeah, she talked about the group. Then you got the Randy Hauser motherfucker talking about the group. I can't remember anybody else who talked about a group, but there's a group. Either meth heads or Triple K guys or somebody. And whether or not they're Odinist, I don't know. But I know there's
I'm going
groups.
to talk on why I don't like the Discords, because I really do think the defense team is stealing the defense from this Discord. I mean, some of it is verbatim stuff that I've heard, and I had him go back in his Discord to find out the date that he started talking about magical bullets and Charles Manson and all that. It was November the 30th.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere around November 30th. That's when they started getting the lawyers. I think that's right around the exact time that November 30th, 2022, when they assigned Rossi and them to Richard Allen.
Yeah.
And what other things do it?
I just don't want a smart sleuther 10 years from now to deep dive this case and be like, oh, well, there's where the defense team came up with those documents.
Well, to me, it's like, it's common sense, really. You know, I want everybody to have their correct constitutional rights and not be railroaded over. And, you know, if he's involved, he's involved. He's guilty. He needs to go to prison. Yeah. But I don't want the real motherfucker who's really going around killing little girls or being part of it to go free.
You want them, if he's the guilty one, you want to see the evidence. You want to see more proof than magical bullets.
Yeah, a lot of people do. There's a few people like me who are like, so far there's nothing here. So far there's nothing.
See, that's why I think the defense is taking, either somebody from that defense team is in that Discord, or the attorney himself is in there.
It really reminds me of Stephen Avery in Wisconsin in the Brandon Dassey situation. It reminds me of that situation.
See, I think he's actually, once I've seen the actual evidence and the stuff that was omitted from that documentary, I now do believe he's guilty. That's just me, but go ahead and speak on your...
But there's a lot of corruption in Carroll County and in Wisconsin. And I think that's part of the issue we're dealing with here is because once you drop one little tiny domino,
they
you
all
drop
fall.
a bunch more dominoes that don't want to be, and you're dealing with money.
And lots of crimes become uncovered.
Yeah.
And
I think Garrett Kurtz knows more than what he's saying, and not that he was involved, he may have been, but he may be part of the group too. But when you got meth heads running around, there's no telling. You know what I'm saying? But I think somebody needs to look more into what was going on at CBS, because if you do have a meth ring, and you know there is, we know there is, I mean, where do they get pseudoephedrine from?
Right. See, let's talk a little bit about what was confusing people in this other Discord is how there's certain medications, even though they used to be over the counter, you have to sign for them. I want to say it was about 20 years ago when they took pseudoephedrine out of like things like NyQuil, Alka-Seltzer Plus. Advil Cold and Sinus is one of the ones that didn't change their ingredient, and that's why you have to sign for that one.
That's here in Florida. I don't know about Indiana.
I think it's all the same, baby.
Yeah, you're on some sort of list. They take your ID, and you do something.
Yeah, like
to go
Primatine Mist, certain things you know, and it used to be over the counter, but now you have to sign for them.
Yeah, because when I had mentioned the thing about the pseudoephedrine in the group, somebody didn't understand what I was saying, and I think they thought I was talking about like prescription drugs, like the ones you go get and you have to get a prescription for. And yeah, those are really, really higher controlled than the boxes of pseudoephedrine ingredients. Because if you go our Walmart, when you walk up there, it's right there on the counter. You can see it. It's eye level.
Yeah.
You know, I look back here, I see where it's
You have to be careful about our shit because
you can't just grab a box, go to the
you've been
self-checkout, boop, and go.
People can find where we're at.
Well, let's agree
That's scary to
like,
think about.
Yeah.
maybe some of
think
us
this point
should
has
be
been
more
made up
careful of
before
what we
on
say in
The
discourse
Delphi
because
situation where-
Richard Allen's
or any of
defense
these other
attorneys,
murders. I
they
think you
don't
made this point
need
about it's
people
dangerous.
helping them. Like,
Yeah,
let them
well,
do their own
people
job.
just don't-
People
That's what
not
people
gonna
are
do it.
calling.
I mean,
Well,
you
that
said
was
this in that
during,
document.
that was Yeah. a few
And I
years
know
ago
there
into
have
the
been
Delphi investigation when the JP thing
some
came up.
folks,
And
I
then
don't
somebody
know
got pissed at you
who,
and made a video
but I
that
know
you could
has
be
been
bridge
mentioned
guy.
in numerous
Yeah,
discourses.
And we didn't want the
Somebody was
FBI
calling
knocking
lawyers.
at our door.
No, I think
I mean,
That-
now
that's
that you said it came out in that document.
Community.
And you're giving them the
Okay,
murderers.
now
I
I'm
don't-
cautious.
It was,
Maybe
and
somebody
that when I
else
started intuition. reading the
And
documents on my
that- you're
channel,
not
I was
saying-
just doing it because
Nobody
it's
is
hard
saying
to
they're
see,
killing
and
little
some
girls
people.
under a bridge.
But as I'm Yeah. reading,
You know,
I'm
as
starting
well as-
to like hear your
can't think of
voice
any
in my
other
head of
person.
some of the
Rex
exact
Hooverman
things
going
you've
around this
said.
county.
And it's
Emails
making
all
me a
over
little
the
nervous.
goddamn
that
place.
somebody's trolling gonna us track back
on
to
the
us and
internet.
Be like, well, there's where the attorneys got their defense from. I swear to God, I had a confrontation with him in a blog one time in a comment
And he's
section.
asking him
I'm
to get
sure
it.
we
And
rubbed
And
elbows with a few people
Richard
that
Allen
have
was
been-
working, and Richard Allen
know,
said, "No, motherfucker,
Very sus.
you ain't
Yeah,
getting no
so
single
we-
federal
you-
today.
you're
You
not-
done got your
nobody
limit."
is really
Get the
safe,
fuck
so
out of
I
here.
don't want to out
And
nobody's
so that Garrett
stuff.
Kurtz's mad because he
I
goes off. He
understand.
gets,
I was
got
Yeah, it was.
on
Yeah, I
He's
think
like,
it was
"Fuck
sleuth
you,
intuition. It got
motherfucker,"
doxxed
framed
at one
Richard Allen
point,
for
and it
murder.
was like, hey,
That's-
like maybe he wants to stay
Right.
incognito
That's
because we're over here
lunatic
trying to
shit.
catch killers.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
kill some bitches,
yeah,
and you're gonna go down for it.
And Sleuth is a
You know,
smart guy,
but when
so
you're
you
dealing with
know-
meth head, they don't
You know,
think
Well, he's
normal
got a
either.
family. I don't.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
that. I'm just saying that.
Garrett Kurtz
They've been
said
up for
that.
days,
They're
like-
running around
And
killing
like
little
my
girls.
theory
What
was
won't
part of
they
that.
do?
Like let's say that.
Well, I want
what
to talk
the
about
openness,
some
the
of the
groups or whatever,
points.
the
Remember
cartels,
that day?
they
It was
do
November
figure-
the 30th.
Oh, Richard Allen went, give it to
Okay, like we
him.
were
You know,
sitting
or
in
he
my
was and he
house,
stopped, or
and you were on a long rant. This
there's
is when
numerous other
you know
avenues you could go down.
the
He to
The
me,
bullet
he led them to their
came
death.
out about
I
the
don't-
bullet,
he
and
was
they
involved
arrested Richard Allen.
100%.
Yeah, like he said,
And
he could have been forced
you
to
had
be there.
said-
You know what I'm saying?
That I could think that too. Like, you know, that's what happens when you have corruption and everybody's hands are a little bit dirty.
And we was talking about single
wasn't
offender. Maybe he
even
was
the
showing up
Logan
with a single
search
offender.
warrant.
But you
All in
came
his
up with a
jacket,
very
that's what looks like
excellent
puppies.
defense in a Discord. Oh God, the
Yeah,
puppy
that was
theory.
like, you know, this
We've
magic
been through
bullet
some
that's
wild
fucking
theories on this
got
thing, guys,
random
but
fucking clothes
I just
thrown
want
all
people
about.
to
Got
try to
this
be
random,
more
that's
cautious
random, but
with
then the magic
what
bullet
they
is
give
state.
Richard Allen's
Well,
defense team. Let
some
Richard
things are
Allen
stated,
come
they're
up with his
deciding
own
what's
defense.
stated
You
and
know,
what's
let
So all of a
let
sudden
the
this magic
pieces
bullet
fall
shows
where
up
they're
out of nowhere.
supposed to. And you also,
You know, I mean, because
like to use because I love you,
Just
and me and you've
because.
talked true crime for years.
But this is all I'm gonna.
So as soon as I heard that,
I will
it made me
continue to
think
rant
of
no
some
matter
of your
what.
lingo, like
yeah, you're
magical
ranting in
theories
these
and just the way you
documents,
get
babe.
animated about it.
Stop.
I
Like,
think I know
stop
what you're talking
ranting
about.
places.
They're
This is
talking
why I don't
about,
like
oh, the magical
Discord.
theories that fly through
Peace and
phones
love, y'all.
and make sure you
Yeah.
get text messages.
I know.
Oh yeah, every text message just goes